Hey everybody, Ozark Elm here. So you probably heard by now that Trump was raided. I'm going to provide some details you might not have heard before, tie some things in. Of course, that's kind of what I do. I'm not just a reactionary. I tried to kind of tie some pieces together that I don't see other people saying. Talk about some strategy here. Anyway, uh, yes, Trump was raided by the FBI. And the judge who issued the warrant for it, keep in mind these agents, tons of them, came all the way from D.C., specifically from the D.C. field office, same ones that used the fake Steele dossier planted by Hillary's lawyers. Still no legal action on that. Supposedly classified documents, they claimed, that really apparently was some kind of mementos and stuff like that, which every president does. It wasn't even Trump, it was the staffers that took them, whatever they were. And his lawyers were speaking with the FBI about the entire thing, supposedly reported by the archive. Because here's the thing, you get these magically reports from all over, the federal government bureaucracy, unelected, that leads to absolutely nowhere. And now this is the latest stunt. The problem is the level to which it is. But anyway, the judge who did it, of course, retired. It turns out this is confirmed by the Independent. You see here, he retired as a U.S. attorney one day on New Year's 2018 in order to represent Jeffrey Epstein and his employees involved in the child trafficking ring. The very next day after he resigned, and by the way, happened to, try to get them immunity. So this guy, Judge Reinhardt, that's how he was involved. So you can tell there's definitely some dirt on this guy. They were the judge of all judges. He was the one that they chose to go to. The FBI field office, again, same one, involved in all this. Now, there's a guy here on YouTube. He does some really good coverage named Matt Christensen. I check out his channel and all that. I've seen him. I think he knows some of the same guys that we know in the 2A community here on YouTube and all that. But he talked about what if secession of the states would happen. A bunch of independent states, because the federal government has gotten so partisan and so abusive. But there are many angles that we need to talk about here. The government trying to pass the assault weapons ban. The government allowing millions of illegal migrants across the country. The FBI also, by the way, even apparently searched. They left safes open. They even searched Melania's wardrobe. That what kind of creepy? Oh, wait a minute. Is that Special Agent Anthony Weiner? Oh, that would actually kind of make a lot more sense. Anyways, you can see a Special Agent Laura Soft Tomb Raider right here. Yeah, it looks like the FBI was looking for anything and everything and using that as an excuse, which a bunch of constitutional lawyers have said is straight up illegal. The warrant is only good for the scope of the limit that it was signed for, and obviously they searched and took way beyond that. They reportedly took about a dozen boxes with them of stuff. But keep in mind here, this is multifaceted. Why we need to get our states involved. Now, of course, many were talking about, well, what if the states talked about secession or something like that? Yes, I know that would be a drastic step. We don't necessarily have to do that. Think realistically here. So, thinking realistically here, what we can do again, this is a multifaceted attack against the American people, from mass illegal migration, the mass inflation, destruction of domestic energy, then this with the FBI, the so-called assault weapons ban that they're trying to pass. We need to address all of these things at once. Get to your state representative, your state senator. If you live in a free state, it's especially on us. And then tell them to put pressure on the governor. Contact the state attorney general. Again, this is your state level government here. They need to form a coalition with other governors of other free states. They need to get together. They need to speak together. They need to make a powerful presence to protect their citizens from, well, this. Because this is what we're facing. If there is serious punishment for hiring illegals in your state, if it is an automatic deportation if anybody who's in the country illegally, because keep in mind, people deliberately cross the border illegally, or they deliberately overstay their visas, and then they lied about their purpose of being in the country. They're given court dates, and then they just don't even show up for them. Me and you, any American citizen disobeys the law like this, we would be in jail, we would be in prison. So we need some kind of actual legal consequences. So if we're going to do this, we need our governors, our state governments, and again, start with your state rep, then your state senator, the AG of your state, and also get involved with some local groups, local grassroots political organizations that absolutely deal with all this stuff. Now on this channel, everybody says, "Oh, everybody's going to take this black pill approach and say, oh, you can't do anything, can't get anything done." I'm talking about the actual realistic approach that will actually get something done. If one thing, when states actually stand up like this, it not just sends a message, but it gets something done, and it keeps it from coming to your state and from happening as much in your state. You can protect your state. So here's the thing: things might inevitably go one way or another in the future. So start taking these steps now. And this is the peaceful diplomatic step now that we can take with our state governments. You're not going to win no matter what we win in the federal election. Not even with the U.S. Senator and U.S. representatives. The federal government's proven that they're just going to act on their own behalf. And it's very simple. There's one party that wants more government and wants to give unelected government bureaucracy more power. And 90% of the federal government in D.C., because this even came from the D.C. field office, make up or are members of or politically lean toward that party. That was as of Forbes in Forbes magazine in 2015. Obama weaponized the recruitment agency, the federal recruitment agency, to vet people politically to make sure that they're on the left. Maybe a few so-called conservatives and all that get here and there, constitutionalists get in here and there. But you know what? A lot of times they're going to keep their pensions. Although we have had leaks, like, this document you've all heard of saying anybody that displays anybody from the Gadsden flag, Betsy Ross flag, normal American heritage symbols, or even exercises the Second Amendment as it is written, is now, well, they stick us with an extreme domestic label. And they've been doing this for a very long time now. These are intimidation tactics, but it can absolutely get very real, very harsh, very fast against American citizens, as we saw in the 90s. So, yeah, get to your state senator, take preventative diplomatic measures now, and demand it be done. Again, starting with your state rep, state senator, and then the governor. This is our coming. You'll have a good one.